But here we go. 27 laps of a soaking Suzuka, and we'll find out who's the winner here as we move over to 5 red lights. And the lights are out, and we are underway here in Suzuka. Salty O'Clock and Owen Howell both jumping the start. Owen Howell jumping up a couple of places. Nice start, mate. As we go down towards the first corner, Coutinho leads ahead of Hayes. The Red Bull of that guy is off the track through turn 2. Carrito down to P4, and there's all sorts of kerfuffle going on. It looks like everyone is just about trying to find the space on through this tight S section as a Ferrari tries to go round outside there. And Coutinho with the perfect start. He's already built a bit of a margin, a second margin over the Mercedes of Hayes.
Yeah, I mentioned Hayes just not being that good in the first section. She's all over the place. QWERTY of the Williams, I said how much he can excel in these conditions. He's all over the back of the Mercedes. Speaking of Mercedes, we've got the round Scott Borger's round at the exit of Degner 1.
Oh, that is a disaster. Scarborger facing the wrong way through Degner 1. I did mention he had a very, very frustrating qualifying because he knows he could have gone a lot faster and gained a few places, and now he's lost out badly. And he's down to 16th place. He's lost 10 places on the opening lap. The Alpine of Godzilla's got a penalty, and Adrian's off the track. I think he's got a couple of illegal overtakes, and he's been forced to give the places back. QWERTY's gone wide. What's going on?
That's great. And QWERTY's got an awful exit out of Spoon, but he's still somehow keeping with Hayes. Carrito's just unable to fire up those intermediates. He's going to be under so much pressure from the jumping start of Owen Howe. Golden Egg Fryer holding on to that 6th place as well. He's had a mega start, but it's gone very wide. Everyone's going wide at 130R. That's going to allow that guy to slide around the outside. And a Casio chicane. Can he make it work? No, the Red Bull's going to have to go to the curb.
The Red Bull just making contact. Oh no, Fryer's
He's into
into the pit lane. Oh no. I keep commentating this over these races, and this guy has absolutely no luck at all. And on the opening lap, he was 5th, and now he's 15th, nearly making an unwanted pit stop. Absolute disaster for Golden Egg Fryer, and it's the opening lap. Oh man, someone give this man a break. He can't catch one at the moment.
I always feel horrible laughing at Golden Egg Fryer. No Look Fryer is his nickname in Division 2 because he just cannot get a single bit of luck. But I hope for him something can happen in this race and get back, because that is just so. It is very unfortunate to see that happen. It's easy to do as well. It's so much easier to do. Carrito is all over the shop at the moment on those intermediates. It is definitely still time for the wet tyre. Owen, of course, will need to serve his drive-through. By the end of next lap, or his girl's going to be disqualified. But I mentioned about Hayes being very quick in the final sector. She has had an almighty first sector as it stands, because she's closed the second gap down to nearly half a second.
Yeah, so Hayes versus Coutinho is definitely far from over, but Carrito, like you said, he's really struggling, and Owen Howell would love to pounce on it. Unfortunately, he jumped the start, but that guy is also looking for a move, going into 130R. And we're going to see a move in the wet of 130R. Yes, we are. A brilliant move there from that guy. Golden Egg Fryer has binned it, and he's caused a safety car at the end of lap 2. And we were talking about Fryer having no luck, and he has not completed the second lap.
Oh,
that
dear.
Someone give this man a break. That is genuinely depressing to look at. It's sad to look at, as you know, he has absolutely no luck, as we've both reiterated at least 5 times in the last 2 minutes. But it has to be said here, Golden Egg Fryer, no luck at all. One of the unluckiest drivers I've seen in league racing, and you know, he's in Division 2 as well, so it's brutal in the midfield. And once again, Golden Egg Fryer at the wrong side of it.
Yeah, No Look Fryer strikes again, and as you said, by the end of he didn't even make the end of the second lap, and he is already out of this race. He's going to be back again next week, we hope. I mean, fair play to him for turning up, because he just cannot get, as we reiterated about 600 times in about the past 3 seconds, cannot get it together of any luck. this season. As Dawsey's in the chat. Hello, Dawsey. Hope you're well, of course. Season 6 winner round here, on his way to taking that championship in the end in the old Division 2. But here in Division 2 this season, of course, safety car right now, Coutinho has had the perfect opening few laps. He has held on to the lead. Hayes has managed to stick with him, though, with her great pace. And QWERTY, of course, the master of the wet, made that position at the start, got ahead of Carito, who's the only man on the intermediates who has stayed out on the intermediates, as still holding on to 4th place. Owen, of course, still yet to serve that drive-through, so he's got to serve it on the lap, either if the safety car comes in or the lap after.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to point that out. That's a great point there, Corey. Yeah, Owen Howell was probably the biggest loser out of all this, because he's going to be dropping right down to the bottom of the field when this field regroups again for the safety car restart. Also, Carito's still on those intermediate tyres. He hasn't stopped yet. Everyone else that started on intermediates made the switch to wet tyres, and right now I'm not seeing any action from the Ferrari pit lane. No, he's staying out. I don't know if this is a smart decision. I really don't think this is a smart decision, but maybe he knows something that we don't. But that might be questionable. I'm not too sure what's going through the mind of Carito. Everyone, he's the only one on intermediates. So,
I mean,
yeah.
just look at the positions gained as well. Owen nearly the most with 6 positions gained, but unfortunately we know why. The man who has gained the most positions is the man who started at the back of the grid, Active JMC. He started 18th. He has avoided all the carnage on the opening lap. He has made his way up to the famous now P11.
Well, there you go. JMC with a qualifying ban. He's made up 7 places, and you know, like we said, you know, attrition might be the way to win this Grand Prix. Overall pace might not matter by the end of the 27 laps. As Golden Egg Fryer types in shambles in the chat. Mate, I'm sorry. Genuinely, every time I'm commentating these races, you never seem to have any luck in them, so I don't know. Hopefully I don't curse you before the race even starts, but hopefully the results turn around. As Codzilla's also pitted for intermediates down in 16th place right now. So, yeah, the wet tyres are a very popular choice, and 2 people at varying places in the field right now are on the intermediates. So time will tell if that is the right decision, but surely Hayes will be fancying her chances for a race win here, Corey. I mean, I know it's lap 4, but you know, saying that, you know, you've mentioned how good she is in the first sector, maybe the final sector as well, on the road to 130R and the final chicane. You know, she might be able to fancy her chances with her setup, even in the wet conditions.
Oh, yeah, I think Hayes is in a great position for the restart. Of course, we saw her pace, especially on the second lap, where she closed that gap straight back up to Coutinho after a poor opening lap, being pressured by QWERTY. But yeah, she's settled in well to this race and in the division as well. We've mentioned it many, many times this season. Of course, she was one of the drivers that got promoted from Division 3 last season, and has so far had a season to remember. She's sitting 6th at the moment in the championship, multiple podiums to her name. Most of those podiums have been from the bottom half of the field. Of course, her qualifying pace isn't quite there, which she proved wrong tonight. But a good result tonight could shoot her well into the top 4 in the championship. She's only 4 points off F1AB QWERTY, who's sitting 4th at the moment. So, and she's outscoring him at the moment.
Yeah, it's always great to see like a driver moving up a division and really just kicking on as if, you know, they're not intimidated by the challenge of facing quicker drivers. And Hayes is definitely proving that this season, which is great to see. She might be one to watch for the rest of the season. Of course, most of her drives and her podium finishes have been from the back of the grid, so might be a bit of a nosebleed being up at this stage of the race, but she'll definitely be fancying her chances for big points once again and prove that she is one to watch in this division. But we've still got 22 laps to go, and it's a long, long race. I was racing in Monza in the McLaren division, and I was fancying a top 5, and obviously by the end of the race, that did not happen. So you know, it's all about picking your moves at the right time and making sure they stick as well, because, you know, it's very easy just to, you know, in the opening stages of a race, it's very easy to detect who might be looking quite quick and who might not be as confident in these conditions. So if you are a faster car, you want to try and complete the move as quickly and as cleanly as possible, because you don't want to lose too much time here. Japan is already hard to overtake, and, you know, it might be a little bit harder for some of the drivers in the wet as well. So safety car should be coming in, and it is. Owen Howell is going to be the biggest loser here. He's got a drive-through penalty to serve at the end of this or the next lap, but it's all about when Coutinho restarts the race for us. You can see the safety car going through Caseo Triangle, and Coutinho slowing up the pack, making sure that he's got the correct amount of heat into the tyres, and we should be underway once again for racing. Here we go then, he's taking his time and he's off, and he's underway, and that does not look like the most convincing restart in the world, but he still leads the way ahead of Hayes and QWERTY right behind the Mercedes as well. We've got Kolesko looking for a move on that guy, and QWERTY goes wide, so does the Red Bull, and there's contact between Carito and QWERTY. Kolesko looking to slip his way through past that guy as well, but that guy hangs on to the position. But QWERTY's really struggling here, and that guy's having a look through the S section. Can he get it done? Not quite, as UKB's assassin has literally leapt on Kolesko. So Kolesko looking for a position, he's lost one instead, and UKB's assassin moved up into P6. But QWERTY losing out badly, and that guy going wide too, so these drivers still having to adjust to these conditions, as QWERTY just about makes a save at the exit of Degner 2.
Oh, he's gone really deep again. That's going to allow that guy up the inside of the hairpin, but now he's going to have to defend from Beast, who's gone all the way around the outside. UK Beast Assassin's had a mega restart lap here. Was in 8th, I believe, at the start of this lap. He's all the way up to 5th.
He is. Unreal stuff, an unreal restart for one of the championship contenders, and Kolesko has lost out again. He's gone wide and he's down to P7. A very frustrating restart lap for the Aston Martin. He won his first 3 races in this league back in season 9, and that race winning form seems to be growing even more distant for him at this point, as Liam is right at the back of him as well, as JNC is in the top 10, for goodness sake. Scarborger also moving into the top 10. There's action up and down the field, but I feel like JNC might have damage, and he does have damage.
He does, yeah. He kind of rammed straight into the back of Kolesko at 130R. And that's going to be where that damage has came from, and JMC into the pit lane, and all that progress has been undone. And for Owen Howell as well, I noticed at the restart he boxed and it did not serve his drive-through penalty, so he's going to be coming in again, and that's just going to rub more salt into the wounds.
Yeah, more salt into the wounds for Owen Howell. I believe it was Saucy O'Clock who also jumped the start. I know there was a second driver that jumped the start, but yeah, chaos everywhere you look in this Japanese Grand Prix so far, and Clock, big moment there, just about gets away with it. But the big winner this restart is UKB's assassin, and QWERTY's gone very slowly at the exit of Degner 2. He's struggling like crazy. He can't generate any sort of confidence in these conditions, and Beast Assassin goes round the outside again into the hairpin, and he's got the drive, and he's up into P4. What a lap and a half this has been for one of the championship contenders. The championship leader is just up the road. He was down in P10, and Carito's got a penalty already. It all seems to be going into the way of the Haas driver.
Liam's had an awful exit, and then we get 3 wide, and it's all 130R potentially. The 2 Red Bulls, and F1 AB QWERTY just pulls ahead, but behind them there's still another 3 cars. Borger and that guy going down side by side through 130R. Scarborger nearly goes off the road. That guy jumps ahead now, but he's got into the grass.
There's contact. That guy's gone wide again. He's missed the chicane. Borger's got damage. He'll feel that Liam braked way too early. through the Casino Triangle, and that's going to hurt the Mercedes. He made such good progress from that poor first lap, and that is him with damaged Kolesko going up the inside into turn 1. There's action everywhere you look in this race. Borger's got no front downforce. The lack of front downforce has forced the Mercedes wide, and Kolesko actually gains a position on the racetrack after looking like he was quite vulnerable to everyone around him. But at least 3 or 4 or 5 cars fighting for the same piece of tarmac going into 130R. I'm surprised it didn't end any worse than that.
Wow, what a end to the lap that was. That was absolutely crazy. We had drivers off everywhere. Crockett's made the move into the points now past Zaki's Beast. And the top 3 probably do not have a clue what on earth is going on behind them right now.
Nah, it's absolute chaos back here. Scarborg lost a lot in the middle sector, looking very slow through the 2 Degners, and that has managed to create a massive train between himself, Skyfee, Clock, Zaki's Beast, Adrian and Godzilla as well. No, just Adrian down in P12 at the back of this train on the intermediate tyres, Corey. So this is far from over. So we don't know which tyres are the fastest tyres right now. And if this track dries up, Adrian can find himself in a very strong position for points. He crashed in qualifying, but you wouldn't think it with how much progress he's made at the start of this race. As Skyfee passes Scarborger just before 130R. One of the more sensible moves we've seen so far in this Grand Prix. And I think Sotiakov would love to jump in on the action as well, as Borgers completely missed the apex of the first part.
Oh, Legends out!
Legends out of the race with a crash, and that's a safety car. And has Clock passed Borger? No, he hasn't. He has not passed the Mercedes through the exit there. And a second safety car on lap 9 of this race. We've just reached a third distance and a second safety car, which is going to bunch up the field again. I'm not sure if you caught how Legend retired there, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, I jumped on him at the perfect time. It was going where Carlos Sainz has his crash in real life last year. I think he just got on the power a little bit too early. Had way too much speed going into the corner as well. And had a snap of oversteer. Into the wall he went. And LSW's Legends' pointless season so far, in a literal sense as well, is once again going to be another pointless race to his tally, and second safety car of the race then. And the top 2 were enjoying themselves up front. Hayes was looking the more confident driver. I saw past 2 laps in a row, Coutinho's been going very, very deep and off the track as well at Spoon. So Hayes has been clawing the time in to Coutinho. But this is going to bring it all back together again now, and give us another restart. And UK Beast Assassin, the master of the restart last time, if you're going to have a restart like he did before, he could be seeing himself into the top 3.
Absolutely, there's absolutely no way you can write him off now. I mean, he looked, I did ask before the race, how is he going to get through at least a couple of cars before he reaches his championship rival, and he seems to have done that quite simply, just by, I don't know how he's done it, but he's pulled it off somehow in the opening laps of this race. And this is where things get very interesting. The safety car has given a couple of people a free chance at a pit stop, but that's JMC and that guy. They've switched to intermediate tyres. Are we going to see anyone else switch to intermediates? And now we're seeing action in the pits. Coutinho's in, Hayes is in, Carrito's in, Beast is in. Everyone is coming in, and this is where races can be won and lost on this game. The pit stop phases. Onto intermediate tyres goes the McLaren. Carrito on another set. Scarborger, what are you doing, my friend? You've got a damaged car, and you're staying out. What?
It's a no-brainer to pit in this case. You can get the tyres to the end of the race. Liam has pit for another set of wet, so maybe he thinks it's too wet out there, unless he's gone for the wrong strategy, which he probably bloody has. But it's a no-brainer to pit behind the safety car, whether you're at the back or the front. Your tyres are going to get to the end of the race no matter what tyre you're on at this stage. We've seen in all the divisions so far this season where we've had wet racing. We saw it in McEwen Division, Monza. Even 3 lap fresher tyres can gain you up to nearly a second a lap on the cars ahead.
Yeah, I remember that race as well. I pitted in every single safety car except one of them. And we were quite close on track that race as well. And that's because, you know, the fresher tyres gave you so much more pace than someone on older tyres in front of you. So you have to exploit that advantage for as long as possible before the tyres start to drop off. But Scarborger has a damaged front wing, but he's decided to stay out on the wet tyres, the oldest set of tyres compared to everybody else, and he leads the Japanese Grand Prix. I don't think... I don't think... Yeah, the Borka bus. I mean, it might be a bus in the middle sector if he keeps the lead by then, but surely he's got to pit. He'll come out behind Zaki's Beast, but he'll be on the right tyres, and he'll have a full front wing on, for goodness sake. Surely he's got to box at the end of this lap and give himself somewhat of a chance to get back into the points. He was running at least 7th before he made contact with Liam in the final chicane, so surely Borger's got to box for a set of tyres. If he doesn't, then it's definitely not one of the smarter things I've seen him do, that's for sure. So surely common sense kicks in and he boxes for a set of intermediates.
I'm ready for that Merc to just stay out. No, he is pitted. I think he can hear you, Cinder. Or he actually used brain.
I think he heard me. I think he might have. I'm not taking credit for it, but I think he might have taken my advice. No, he hasn't. He's gone on wet. Never mind. Forget that.
Well, he did pit.
He did pit, to be fair, but... Oh, dear. He's pitted, albeit the wet tyres. He's not moving on my screen. I don't know why that's the case. Unless Mercedes took an extra amount of time repairing that front wing, but... Back in the race he goes, albeit 13th. And he might not be on the right tyres at this stage of the race, Corey. And the popular choice now has flicked to the intermediate tyres. And I think that guy is in for intermediates as well. He was running 5th and struggled to keep it on the road. So several drivers struggled to keep it on the road and making moves cleanly, like we did allude to before the start of this race. And now it's the Alpine of Adrian leading this race. But the problem is the fresher tyres that everyone else has might change that result very quickly.
Yeah, you've got that spot on. We said about right tyres as well. As you can see on the timing screen at the moment, we've got 2 cars on the wet tyre. We've seen Scarboger has just come in for the wets, and Liam as well has gone for the wet tyre. We'll see if that is the right call at the restart, but normally what the majority go for is the right call in 99% of the time. Safety car, we might be having another lap because obviously that guy, he was into the pit lane, and I don't expect him to be going at full racing speed. Around this track, especially with the conditions at the moment. We don't want to risk anything behind this safety car, so we might have one more lap, but as you mentioned, it is Adrian who's going to get us underway behind this safety car when we go green again. And he was dead last nearly at the end of qualifying. Well, and was dead last at the times, end of qualifying, and was dead last in the race at some point as well.
Yeah, he was dead last in the gravel at the hairpin, giving illegal places back. And all of a sudden, for a little bit of fate, he's leading this Japanese Grand Prix. So Coutinho's hopes of a Grand Chelem, you know, pole position, fastest lap, lead every lap, and the race win for now is in, well, lead every lap is not on the cards anymore. So the Grand Chelem isn't really there for him, but he's still the lead car on the freshest intermediate tyres possible. So the main priority for Coutinho is picking his moment carefully. He's got to pick the right corner at the right moment to pass Adrian and try and take off, because if he can manage to pass the Alpine on the older intermediate tyres, he can maybe bridge himself a gap between himself and Hayes behind him, because these two, like you said, seem very similar on pace. If he can't do that, then Hayes might be licking her lips a little bit on the restart.
Indeed she will, but I expect her to be pouncing off the restart. One man who's I think is going to be a beast, excuse the pun, from the restart is the man UK Beast Assassin. We saw him at the previous restart, as we mentioned earlier. He's absolutely sending it, making the moves, and he is a man possessed at the moment. Wants to regain that championship lead, and he has got his championship rival directly in front of him, with a penalty, of course, for track limits. and I'm sure will want to make his way into the podium positions and to retake that championship lead come the end of the night.
Yeah, he's definitely got the chance to do so. Remember, 7 points cover. The two drivers in 4th and 5th in this Grand Prix. This Division 2 Championship is definitely serving up to be quite a classic battle between 2, maybe even 3 drivers, but one of them is down in 13th, and he might not be on the correct tyres, as Martin Brundle says. There's a rule of thumb in Formula 1, and this also applies to league racing as well. No matter what division you're in, you've got to be on the right tyres at the right time, and I'm sure we are moments away from finding out who's on the right tyres and who isn't, as the safety car is coming in at the end of lap 12. 15 laps to go. We have crossed a third distance in this Grand Prix, but I still think it is wide open. So let's see who will lay the foundations for the final stint of this race, as Adrian looks to get underway. He looks pretty eager to get going, but Coutinho crucially has stayed right with the back of the Alpine, and he's pulled away a little bit from Hayes as well. As we get underway again for this Japanese Grand Prix, it is Adrian leading, but look at Coutinho. He's already having a look as he can't quite get it done going into turn 1, as Kalesko looks to pass SLR Liam down the inside into turn 2. Liam trying to hang around the outside on those wet compound tyres, and you know what? Fair play, he's held on to the position. Liam might not be on the right tyres, but he's definitely not willing to give up P7 so easily. But Coutinho is right on the back of Adrian, but crucially, so is Hayes.
Yep, Hayes is there. Carito's there as well. He's had a look down the inside at Hayes there, going into second one with a risky move. It's now invited Beast into the equation where it's now a 5, maybe even 6 car train. If QWERTY can get that Williams right on the back of him as well. Coutinho having a little look at Adrian, forces him to defend the inside. That's going to allow Coutinho to have the better exit though, out of the hairpin. And now the long curve down into the spoon hairpin.
Yeah, so Adrian already under pressure. Coutinho knows it. He knows he's got to make the move. He forces Adrian defensive again. He tries to go round the outside of Spoon. That was not a good call. Hayes goes down the inside, and then side by side going through Spoon. Bit of a moment for the McLaren on the exit, and now they're still gonna go wheel to wheel going into 130R. Adrian is looking behind him, probably panicking. Beast is out of the race. Coutinho hangs on round the outside, and somehow Coutinho's ahead. There's another safety car, and Carito almost snuck his way past the Mercedes there. A very close call, and Adrian will live to fight on another day here in the lead of this race.
Wow, I can't believe what I've just watched. That was incredible. Nearly 3 wide it was. Going into 130, you can barely get 2 cars through there, let alone 3. Coutinho did sneak ahead, but it was when the safety car came out, so he did rightly give that position back. But what a battle that was. Coutinho going deep into Spoon allowed Hayes to sneak up the inside, but somehow the McLaren held on to second place. And as you said, somehow Adrian's still in the lead of this race.
You wouldn't have believed it if you didn't see it. Adrian's still leading this Japanese Grand Prix, but you saw there that in that one lap of racing we had, you can just see the lack of grip he's got compared to the cars behind him. He's going to get absolutely swarmed, the poor bloke. You know, if he's effectively a mobile chicane. You know, if one car goes through, if, say Coutinho goes through into the lead of the race, that's going to lead to Hayes and Carito and Beast Assassin all desperately trying to pass the Alpine as soon as possible. So Adrian really in a sticky situation right now, and I would really take the chance to pit. Speaking of pitting, Scarborg has decided, I'm going to stay out on the wet tyres.
Yeah, Liam has kind of aborted that wet call. He's gone for the intermediates. He's pitted and has now dropped down to 40. Scarborg hasn't, so he's the only car out on the wets. But yeah, all it takes is that one car to go for the move. If Coutinho went for the move on Adrian, as you said, that would have allowed everyone else to try and at least go for it. I thought Coutinho was going to run into the back of Adrian going into Spoon because he had so much overspeed compared to the Alpine. We saw how quick he was heading into Spoon, backed out of it, and that's what allowed Hayes to go up the inside of the McLaren. But if the last restart was anything to go by, I am so ready for this next one.
Yeah, so am I. hopefully we can get going straight away, as everyone is bunched up. Is the safety car gonna give us some more racing? No, it isn't. Great. Amazing. Why does it have to stay out on the lap? That is pretty much ridiculous. But we will talk about strategy here. Does Adrian box? He will have fresher tyres than everyone else, but no, he wants the track position. And at this point, he desperately needs it, because if he's like P6 or 7, where Liam was at the restart, it will be very difficult for him to keep that position. Maybe the idea of points will be off the table. So Adrian choosing short-term gains right now by staying out. Liam and that guy are on fresh intermediate tyres, albeit at the back of the grid. But the advantage, Corey, might swing in their favour because they're fresher than anybody else.
It's very true. Of course, I mentioned it a few times already. McEwen Division Monza, we saw fresh tyres was definitely the key on that night. The test race at Silverstone for McEwen as well. Fresh tyres, once again, proving over a second a lap quicker they were on that night. And we've seen it in multiple times in Division 2 this season in wet races. Zandvoort was a key example. Silverstone was an example. Fresh tyres in these conditions is the name of the game. And even at a track where it's hard to overtake like this, if you are brave enough into the corner and hope that the other driver is going to give you space, which is a risk in its own, and that's a lot of dig to anyone at all, it's going to pay off.
Yeah, I think, especially with a track like this, I said about picking your moments. Coutinho picked the wrong one, and it almost cost him dearly. Going for a move at Spoon when the car in front has covered the inside line might not be his finest moment, but he got away with it, crucially, and he's still ahead of the person who he shares the front row with, Hayes. How do you think she's feeling at this point? You know, she's just come very close to overtaking the man on pole position, but she almost lost a place in the process. So, if you were in the situation, Corey, what would you do in this situation? Would you still be looking to pass the McLaren, or would you make sure that you just keep track position and make sure you don't lose places?
I think if you're Hayes, you kind of don't have much to lose at the moment, especially in the championship-wise as well. She was very much pouncing on the opportunity that could Coutinho making the error into Spoon, but at the moment, the key thing is just going to keep it on the road. But Hayes at the moment is doing a fantastic job to be third, and if Adrian is going to make to the end of this race, which I would not be surprised if he doesn't, could be P2, and he has gone early.
He's gone early. Here we go then. Underway again here in Suzuka. Scarborg has had a bit of a tangle with Owen Howell just before the safety cars come in, and that's a much better restart for the Alpine as he continues to lead here. Lap 16 of this Japanese Grand Prix. 3 safety cars, and this race is far from over. And we're nearly approaching the 10 laps to go mark, where anything can happen in the space of 10 laps in Division 2. Just see Mexico in Season 9. That race was absolutely chaotic, and it seems the chaos does not stop here, as Liam, down in 13th, has made the move on Owen Howell. So is that guy. So Owen Howell losing out on his old intermediate tyres, as Liam looks to make progress on his fresh intermediate tyres. Both Red Bulls looking to recover. It's not been an easy race for any of them so far, and let's see how far they get. But right now, Coutinho is once again hounding that Alpine, and you've got to feel that this is the chance he's got to take the lead of the race. He's going to do what UKB's Assassin has done, try round the outside, and he's not quite close enough on that occasion. Hayes having a little look there, but it is Adrian still in front. But the McLaren, look at the straight line speed the McLaren's got. Can he go round the outside of Spoon? He tries again, but again he's thwarted by the Alpine, and Hayes again having a look down the inside, and I think we might be in a similar situation to lap 14, where these three were so close to each other going into 130R. Coutinho trying his best, almost hitting the back of the McLaren there. Just Hayes going into the Coutinho triangle. Look how slow Adrian is in comparison to everybody else, and somehow he leads another lap, Corey. But you've got to feel that this is the chance for Coutinho to retake it.
We've got a mega final 10 laps in store. Don't go anywhere just yet. Coutinho's going to go around the outside of turn 1, is he? Yes, he is. He's going to get the move done this.
Oh, let's go down.
The McLaren's off. Oh, my goodness me. Coutinho is off, and that is his chance for race victory potentially gone.
It is, surely. 10 laps to go in this Japanese Grand Prix. Like I said, it's wide open. Anyone can win this Grand Prix. So don't go anywhere. Coutinho, I said he needed to pick his moment. He needed to pick the right moment, and it's gone wrong, and it's costed 5 places because we know he could have taken the lead if he just picked his moment. Let's see what Hayes can do in this moment in time. She knows that the Alpine is really slow in comparison on his tyres that are 5 laps older. So where is she going to pick the move?
Well, it was a very risky move from Coutinho to go around the outside of turn one. Adrian didn't want to back out on his old tyres because he had very much less grip under braking as well compared to the McLaren driver. That caused the contact and that saw him go off. Owen Howe's now out of the race. He's lost out of the head. We've got a 4th safety car of the race.
4 safety cars in 17 laps. That is an average of 4. Well, we've had 4 safety cars, but I can't do maths. Well, that's at least a safety car in every 4 laps. And you've got to wonder how Adrian's doing this, man. How is he still leading this Grand Prix on the oldest tyres out of anybody else? And now that is only going to fuel the fire for more chaos. Because by the time we get going again, it will be lap 20 out of 27. And it will be a 7-lap sprint to decide the winner. Carrito's in. He wants fresh tyres. And this is a crucial call in the context of the Drivers' Championship. He's in for another set of intermediate tyres who have the freshest tyres out of anybody else. No one else has followed him in. So it seems that track position seems to be the majority, the priority, sorry, for the majority of the grid. As I almost mix my words up there. Scarborg is still on wet tyres, Corey. You've got to wonder, like, what are you doing at this point?
He must be hoping it is going to rain even more, but by the looks of it, it's not going to. Carrito, I tell you what, for the championship leader, he is taking the most unnecessary of risks today, and if it pays off, then he will shut me up for sure. But he's just thrown away what was a guaranteed, maybe, he did have the penalty, yes, but what was maybe a guaranteed top 5 potentially, once it all got back properly running again, the gaps opened up, for what could be a potential win if it goes right, but could be throwing away anything between 10 and 15 valuable points to a championship, and could be throwing away the championship lead as well, because Beast is now up into 3rd, and if Hayes can make a way past Adrian, and that could potentially allow the rest of the field through, and that could allow Beast to even further extend that gap.
Absolutely right. Beast Assassin, this is crucial for the context of the championship. Carrito leads by 7 points to UK Beast Assassin, and UK Beast Assassin started 10th on the grid, and he is now into the podium places for the first time in this race. His main rival, Carrito, down in 14th place with a 3-second time penalty, one of 2 drivers with a penalty. He's got it all to do, Cora. I feel like he's giving himself too much to do in just less than 10 laps. This is a really, really risky call. He's going for that elite risk, as you would say. Yeah, I know. Great stuff.
Poor.
I know, it was very poor. I do apologise, everyone. That was really bad. And in reference to the person I'm referencing to, sorry, that was bad. But anyway, back to the action we go. Well, there's not much action behind the safety car. But as I was saying, Carrito has given himself mission impossible here. He's got 8 laps, 7 laps, depending when the safety car comes in, to convert P13 to P3 where he was beforehand. Scarborg has finally made the right decision to box onto intermediate tyres, and he's got work to do too. So the door is wide open. It feels like an open goal, but there's a big goalkeeper in front of UK Beast Assassin, and that is Adrian on intermediate tyres. Very old intermediate tyres, who is somehow keeping the lead at this stage of the race, so it's not exactly an open goal yet.
I mean, we've been talking about all race how fresh tyres is the name of the game, but I think especially what we've seen for the past 2 safety car restarts, that kind of hasn't been the name of the game in this race. We've seen Adrian hold on to the lead just about on his 14-lap old mediums. We've seen the drivers like Liam on his fresher intermediates anyway not gain as much as I thought he would. and everyone else is on the same age tyres, haven't really lost out as much as they would. So again, a track like this where it's hard to overtake, even in the wet conditions where fresh intermediates are many seconds quicker a lap, just isn't paying off because you just don't have the room to make the move done.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to overtake. Suzuka's hard to overtake in the dry, let alone the wet. But it seems that a couple of drivers here are really pouncing on a couple of areas of everyone else around them, and just pouncing that way to take the positions. I did see QWERTY trying the inside line on UK-based Assassin going into the hairpin in one of the restarts, but I think another thing, Corey, I need to mention is the outside line in the wet conditions is just too powerful. UK-based Assassin has used this earlier in the race, and that's how he managed to gain a couple of places in the opening laps. But now, the safety car's in for the 4th time in this race. Adrian leads this Japanese Grand Prix, 8 laps to go, and it's still anybody's game. We've got Adrian on his 14-lap-old tyres. Hayes has been desperate to claim the lead this whole time. Beast Assassin has climbed his way through. What else is going to happen in this Japanese Grand Prix as we get underway once again for an 8-lap shootout to decide the winner? Adrian with another decent restart ahead of Perp Hayes, 44 in second place. UK Beast Assassin has a big chance to reclaim the lead of the championship here today, with QWERTY close behind him, 4th, and again he's gone wide through turn 2, and he gets away with it again for Coutinho. You've got to wonder, what's he going to do now? He's got cars to pass now. It's not just the one car, he's got 4 cars to pass if he wants to win this Japanese Grand Prix. And already Liam on his intermediate tyres is already eyeing up JMC for P9 in this race.
Yes, he is. He's closing in on him. The top 3 are very close together. Beast all over the back of Hayes at 2:10. She's at Norfolk, Degner 1. That's going to allow Beast to close up even more now as they go through Degner 2. Adrian still holds on to the lead, 0.6 of a second somehow. He is doing a brilliant job out in front to hold on to the lead, but Hayes will be ready to pounce at the first available opportunity. Coutinho has made the move on QWERTY, who's been struggling at this restart. Has been struggling throughout the whole race, really, which is surprising. Because Lesko's now through as well. It's getting even worse for the Williams.
Yeah, that Williams is not having a good day in these wet conditions. It's been a miserable, wet Friday night for him. Scarborger's passed Godzilla for 13th place, but it doesn't feel like he's got a chance to get points. And QWERTY's still fighting the car and other people around him, as Sky Fee looks to take the lead, take P6 as well, but nothing doing. Back to the lead, Adrian under pressure again. How much can the Alpine withstand here? As Perp Hayes looks to go round the outside, going into the chicane, she forces Adrian to go defensive, and that might compromise his run through the final corner as we start lap 21. She's got the slipstream, she's got the desire to win this race, and with the overtake, she punches the overtake button, and she finally punches through into the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix with 7 laps to go, and that might be the move for the race win, but you can't count out anyone else yet. Kolesko looking to go round the outside of Coutinho, who's up into 4th place, but then 2 seconds back already, and now the pressure's on UK Beast Assassin to make the move for P2 if he wants a chance to win from 10th on the grid.
That was a mega move from Hayes. She did exactly what Coutinho couldn't pull off into turn 1 on Adrian, and Hayes is now into the lead of the race, and on those fresher intermediate tyres she's got a chance to try and pull a gap now to Adrian, who's going to try and hold off Beast, who's all over the shop and right behind him as well.
Well, you talk about having nothing to lose with a couple of drivers up and down the field. Adrian's got nothing to lose as well. He's 17th in the Drivers' Championship for context here, guys. 17th in the championship. It's been a very rough season for Adrian, and this is as high as I've seen him all season, and this would mean a huge amount to him as someone who's always had potential to do well in this division, but always making that mistake, always having that bit of bad luck not going his way, and this would be massive for him to get P2 as Kurito is in the top 10. JMC has held off Liam. Liam has not made the progress that you were expecting, Corey. And now Borger's in the party too. Can JMC make a clean overtake here as he goes through 130R? He doesn't have the momentum as QWERTY and Clark made contact through the chicane. So fighting up ahead might help the championship leader gain some places back with the time penalty. And here he goes. He's already out of BRS, for goodness sake. where's the EOS management? But it won't matter to him as he's looking for the move round the outside into turn 1. He's trying to hold it for turn 2, but Clock stands firm and keeps P8, and this might just be a frustrated final stint for Carito.
I mean, Carito and ERS management this season is absolute non-existent. I think every time I've looked at him midway through every race this season, he's had no ERS, so it's nothing new. But Carito's doing a great job nevertheless on the restart. Up into P9, of course. With that penalty, he's just going to get his elbows out, really, because he knows he's going to drop out the points. It was a risk. Oh, and both the cars ahead of him have gone off into the gravel, but it somehow kept them together. But he can't make advantage of it. Liam has made the move on JMC. He's going to try and keep it on the inside of the hairpin. He's brake very late.
Wheels.
Contact there. Liam's got the move.
Liam getting that move done. Scott Borger says thank you very much for messing up that corner. I'll have your position too, mate. He's up into P11. So this is an open fight for the final point-paying positions. And like I said, mission impossible. It might not be possible for Carito to get points. That decision to pit might come back to bite him, and QWERTY's already dropping back to the rest of the runners in the top 5. UKB's Assassin has got to make a move on Adrian. Again, Adrian is forced defensive going into the chicane, and again, he's going to have a compromised run out of the final corner. And now this is the chance for UKB's Assassin to take the lead of the championship here. Here he goes, overtake, slipstream, he's looking for the outside line, going into turn 1, and Adrian stands firm, but he might get the switch back through turn 2. He just can't do it. He can't make the move happen. Adrian standing firm. He's not willing to lose his P2.
He is putting a brilliant defensive drive up against Beast here for P2. Beast will take the championship lead as it stands if it ends like this. Hayes is pulling away nearly a second, it is now. Back to Adrian, who's just going to be racing in his mirrors at the moment, but that Haas growing ever large right behind him.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's even action going on behind as well. Division 2 really serving up more carnage up and down the field, and Liam takes advantage of another mistake from QWERTY, and he moves up into P8, so Liam can still definitely steal some points in this race. Right at the end, Scar Borger, who has been down the order for the majority of the race, he's up into P10, he's looking for P9. Clock is still hanging in there. Is Sophia Clock, the Alfa Romeo looking for the outside line, going into Spoon, it normally doesn't work, and it hasn't. And meanwhile, Coutinho's back in front of Beast Assassin, so Assassins might have made a mistake somewhere, and he's looking for the outside, and he's done it. No, he's gone off the track, and he stays ahead. Coutinho making 2 moves in 1 go, and that is him up into P2, but crucially, the Mercedes has a massive lead now.
Wow. Yeah, again, Hayes is not going to know what's happened behind her, but as QWERTY has lost it, that's a race that's gone from bad to worse for the Williams driver. As GKB's Assassin is going to drop down to 5th because he's going to go side by side with Kislesko going through turn 2. You can only get 1 car through there, let alone 2. Beast is going to hold on around the outside, but it's been a horrible past few laps for the Haas driver. At the moment, he's still going to take the championship lead, I believe, but it's not going to be as big as advantage as he thought.
Yeah, and it's literally because he didn't take the moment or the chances he had to pass Adrian. Adrian down to P3. He's not having it, Corey. He's not backing down from anyone. He doesn't care if they're on fresher tyres. He will fight to the very end of the race. Oh, Clock is out of the race. A cruel luck for the Alfa Romeo as he was looking to fight for the minor points paying positions. He's getting none here in this Japanese Grand Prix. That guy is still right behind JMC, who's come from a qualifying ban, remember. He's up into P9. It might be P10 if that guy can get the run out of the hairpin. No. Scar Borger again says thank you. I'll take that position. But the outside line's a bit dodgy. There's contact between them. And Borger just keeps his position. And thankfully no one's in the wall there. But that could have ended very, very badly.
I don't know how neither of them ended up in the water bag, but that was so close. Beast is closing up to the back of Adrian again. Beast hasn't finished on the podium since the 10th round of the season in Hungary. It's been nearly 6 races. He's going to send it down the inside of the chicane. It's a very late move. He hasn't made the corner though. He's going to have to give that place back, and he might get a penalty. He does get a straight penalty for it, and he's going to have to allow the Alpine back through. And I think that is Beast's chance of a podium well and truly gone now.
That is a massive moment in the context of this championship. The opportunity to win the race has now turned into a battle for staying alive in this Grand Prix. As Sky Speed looks to take advantage as well. He's on course for a net P4. He's been very quiet this afternoon, but he will still get a strong bunch of points for the McLaren team. They're on for a P2 and a P4, which will be a great day in the office for them in terms of their fight in the Constructors' Championship. So meanwhile, SLR Liam isn't done yet. He's looking for a move at Dunlop curve on Kilasco. Kilasco's wide. He's got a penalty. And Liam is through. Liam pushing through these final laps. He's making a late push for as many points as possible. He's on for P6 here in this Japanese Grand Prix. What a race we are seeing. Kurito looking for the inside on Sky. Oh no, he's got it wrong. He's got it horrendously wrong. The championship leader went for one move too many, and he's down in 8th place. What a disaster. UKB Sasaki might gain some decent points after all of that. Kurito had to pick his right moment, and it's cost him dearly, Corey.
It was desperation kicking in there for Kurita. He knew he was going to lose the championship lead tonight with that strategy, and that is his race over and done with. It's slipping from his fingers now, and he's going to drop potentially outside the points as well with his penalty. Beastie's going to drop down to P6 with his penalty if it ends like this with 2 laps to go, but Kurito knows that is the chance gone.
Oh, and Dicey's had a massive moment in the last corner, but Liam's not close enough on this occasion. But yeah, the desperation crept in. He knew he had to make moves, and it cost him dearly. And that might be him no longer leading the World Championship going into Qatar next Friday. I'm seeing Mids in the chat really laughing his head off, so he's definitely enjoyed what he's seen there. But right now, Hayes won't even know what's happening behind her. She's got a 4-second lead over Coutinho. She picked her moment when she wanted to pass Adrian, and it looks like it's paying off. I don't want to do the commentator's jinx or curse. I really don't want to. But right now, she's looking on course for 25 points. Will this be her first win, Corey?
It'll be her first win in Division 2. She's made a fantastic step up to Division 2 this season after being from Div 3. She said it has not phased her a single bit. She says she was ready to fight with the big boys at the top, and today has definitely proved that she picked the moment perfectly, as you said, waited for all the chaos to happen around her, and she has slid her way through into the race lead and is on course for her first ever Division 2 race victory.
Yep. Meanwhile, Abquati, he said he was going to fancy a race win. He's currently last out of the 13 runners with another time penalty. It's really falling apart for the Williams driver after showing so many great performances previously in the wet. It's really not come together for him here in this Japanese Grand Prix. And it's not over yet, because UK Sasaki could still get 3rd place on track. Adrian is holding firm as we start the final lap of what has been an amazing Japanese Grand Prix in Division 2. And Sparks, you've missed a lot, my friend. You have missed quite a lot of action here on this Friday night, and it might not end there because Liam is still pushing. He's on course for P5 right now, but P4 from 14th on the grid will be a very, very strong drive from the Red Bull, who Corey personally wrote off before the start of the race as well. So yeah, I didn't write him off one bit. Corey did. So yeah, don't do that again, Corey.
I love writing him off.
Liam is still looking for the move. Adrian is still, he's 1 lap away. He's two sectors away from claiming a podium from 17th on the grid. It's been an incredible effort from Adrian. It's been an incredible effort from everyone on this grid, where many fights have been won and lost. But here is the glory woman, actually. Not the glory man, the glory woman in this moment in time. Hayes in the Mercedes. Moved up from Division 3 up to Division 2. She has shown great performances previously, claiming podiums and brilliant drives from the back of the grid. And maybe a few people in the division might be wondering, when is she going to claim her first victory in Division 2? And today, she has proven that she is one to watch for now and maybe next season as well, as she comes through to win the Japanese Grand Prix. It's a brilliant drive from the Mercedes, her first win in Division 2. Well deserved. Coutinho had the chance, he finishes second. Adrian from 17th to 3rd at the end. He holds off Sky Fee. Liam from 14th to 5th. UK Beast Assassin finishes 6th. Kolesko 7th. Scarborga somehow getting 4 points out of it. I believe Carrito's finished 9th as well. So I don't think UK Beast Assassin has even taken the lead of the Drivers' Championship, despite the open goal being there right in front of him. He just couldn't put it at the back of the net, and he is not walking out leading the championship. But right now it's all about Hayes, who wins her first Division 2 race. A very special moment for her, and one that she might have been waiting for quite some time as well. And it's well deserved. Definitely deserved when she made that move on Adrian. And that is what basically won her the race, and she never looked back.
Yeah, mega drive it was from Hayes today. Taking up the 25 points to her and the Mercedes team. Did not put a foot wrong, timed the moment perfectly, did the move that Coutinho couldn't on Adrian into turn 1, and never looked back after that. Coutinho recovered to P2, fantastic recovery drive it was after the contact with Adrian in the end. Adrian will hold on to 3rd with amazing defensive drive. And hopefully we can talk to the top 3 very shortly. Skeefy managed P4 in the end somehow. I don't know, he got it with penalties as well. Liam P5, UK Beast Assassin, we mentioned, will drop down to P6 with his penalty. Will not take the championship lead tonight. 2 points, I think, is the gap now between the top 2. Kislesko will finish 7th. Scarborga did great, finish P8. He will close the gap at the top. So with how close the division is in the top 3, it's going to be even closer now.
It absolutely is, and I want to mention James C really quickly. He got the final point from 18th on the grid. Another chaotic